Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we are going to begin once again with North Dakota. This measure, I'm kind of interested to see about this ballot measure. It's kind of silly, if you will. I guess it's controversial. I guess I shouldn't be putting my input on it. But this measure is going to change the Constitution and the language. Okay, so this is North Dakota Measure 1. And if passed, this measure would amend the state constitution to replace some outdated terminology, including changing a line about education for the deaf and dumb, and to instead say deaf and hard of hearing. I'm not sure why it says deaf and dumb. I mean, why would you say dumb? I mean, I don't know. I guess it must be because of racism. And here we go again. Racism, bigotry, ableists, all these titles and all these words. And I'll probably say yes to the ballot measure. I don't know why we should keep the word dumb on the Constitution. Like, I think it's pointless, and I think it just creates problems, as you know. It offends too many people, even though, you know what? Who cares? Are you going to let that ruin your day? No. Deaf and dumb. You know, yeah, it's just, it's just stupid. You waste your time whining and crying about something that totally is irrelevant. But you wonder why and how this ballot measure may have gotten here in the first place. I guess there were a group of people that said, let's change the Constitution. Me, I'd be like, okay, this is a good opportunity to demonstrate your strength. Okay, perhaps this was maybe because of bigotry and racism, but are you going to feed that? No. Are you going to give them what they want, which is you to be mad and huffy and puffy and cry about it? No. You go on with your day like nothing happened. But then again, I'm not saying they had a good reason. I'm just saying you legitimately gave them what they wanted, was for you to boo-hoo, whine, and cry. So, yeah, for me it's kind of hard to see that. But obviously, you'll see 84.5% of an overwhelming majority in North Dakota supporting this ballot measure. Yes, gets the support of Cass County. Am I surprised? No, it has big urban Fargo. It's leading the charge. 89% of the popular vote, 79,000 votes in support of the ballot measure. You also here got the no option, which has got it's low energetic, but then again, all these counties were overwhelmingly in favor. You got Sheridan. Okay? Sheridan County, I'm not sure where it is. But I think the most important point I want to make with this ballot measure is I don't want to hear that North Dakota is a racist state. It's a bigotry state. It's a state full of hate. No, I don't want to hear about that, because North Dakota spent lots of money to remove the terminology of the deaf and dumb out of their constitution. What? How is that? Of course, meaning that they're bigotry, blah, 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 blah. Well, they're not bigoted. Don't you need more evidence? Well, here's the deal. The left, they go and say Trump's a racist because of the Central Park 5 or Central Park whatever. That one incident means he's a racist? Really? So why can't we do it? North Dakota is not a racist state because you have this ballot measure, very expensive by the way, being paid for by taxpayers, obviously, to remove the terminology deaf and dumb. And 84.5% of the states said yes. Yes, there's going to be a double-digit amount of people that are just frustrated why this is even a thing on the ballot measure. I think it's a little silly, 15.5%. Or there's just people that are just bigots. But you know what? Let them be bigoted. It's just, you can't stop them from being bigoted. And we need to stop people from controlling other people. Because it's going to lead to these altercations. It's going to lead to the violence. We really need to put an end to, of course, the tensions. So, obviously, we are going to take a look at... Okay, my mouse is once again bothering me. Let's take a look at ballot measure 2. Tighten requirements for ballot initiatives. Okay, so this ballot measure, if passed, would, of course, this measure would increase the number of signatures needed to put a constitutional initiative on the ballot from 4% to 5% of state residents. It would also require petition signers to give a complete address and require sponsors to be qualified electors. Future measures would have to be approved by voters twice. First in a primary and again in a general election in order to pass. So I would say, you know what, this is more of a voter integrity. I would say more of a election integrity sort of election. They're coming out and they're saying, hey, of course, we want more strong laws to make sure that these ballot measures are fair. But then again, you'll see more red counties like Kidder, Logan, McIntosh, Emmons County, Morton County, Grant County. So this seems to not be a partisan divide. Some people are like, why do we need to increase it in the first place? Isn't it just the ballot initiative thing just fine the way it is? The two counties that supported it, McKenzie and Williams County, I think they're just going out and supporting the ballot measure out of more of, this is, I don't want to say it's identity politics or something. Like you see, Logan County is technically more conservative than McKenzie and Williams, in other words. They're technically more conservative. So I cannot say this is a partisan thing. The county that supported it the most, Logan County. Well, no. Logan County is one of the most conservative counties. 67% of the popular vote is going against this ballot measure. Well, yes, mainly gets the support of McKenzie County, 56%. Now, you also see blue counties like Rolette. This is the Native American county. And the Sioux County, of course. They are kind of in between. They're voting no. Rolette is in the 60% range, but they are kind of in the middle. Cass County, 55%. It was a mix there. Close result, 45%. Same deal in Grand Forks. So it voted no by just a little bit more. But in Bismarck, Bismarck that's in Burleigh County. That is obviously the huge result there. So, that is, of course, the state of North Dakota. Let's take a look at Measure 3, Reduce Legacy Fund Limit. Okay, so this one's a close one. This measure would limit the money that can be spent from the state's legacy fund, which receives revenue from oil and gas production. The state would only be able to spend 5% of the principal every 2 years instead of 15%. I think it's more of an environmental measure, if you will, which honestly is kind of decisive. Also, you're limiting the government from spending, which is obviously a good thing to a point. You'll see urban counties, except for Grand Forks, Fargo, and Bismarck, they are going in support of this ballot measure. The county that supported it the most is Williams. Once again, it's a very rural county up by Montana, bordered by Montana, influenced by Montana. 58% of the popular vote. You got the no option, again, Logan County, 64%, saying, we're not so sure about this ballot measure. But ultimately, I would say this is more a partisan divide here. People are just saying government spending, keeping the government from, of course, spending this money. Great. Or, of course, it's like, oh, hang on. This is going to... Was this... Excuse me. Would this involve taxes? I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure. But ultimately, I would say this kind of had to have involved some sort of tax increase or something like that. 48%, 52% in support of the ballot measure. It was a close one, I would say decisive. But obviously, yes has prevailed. Prohibit property tax. You'll see no has, of course, won this said election. This measure would bar state and local governments from levying taxes based on the value of a home or property. And you'll see they all came out and said no. Of course, they're not against, well, I would say they're not against from levying or giving a taxes based on the property of home, which is interesting if you think about it. You'll see in support of this ballot measure, 81%, in Towner County, wherever Towner County is. They were the ones that went against it the most. Ward County, right up here, used to be a Democrat stronghold, 53%. It's not in real favor of this ballot measure, but they did go against it. They had the likelihood of supporting it anyway. In other words, 47% out of all of them. Interesting results. And finally, we have our last ballot measure, which is controversial. It's actually very interesting and a win, if you will. The legalization of marijuana. So, this measure would allow for the production, sale, possession, and use of cannabis for those of 21 and over. And it must be recreational, right? I think North Dakota would have a better chance of improving medical marijuana than recreational marijuana. But what it's looking like right now, 52.5%, it's official. They rejected this ballot measure, although it came pretty close. You'll see You got counties like Cass County in support of it, Grand Forks, another urban county. You got the Native American counties really in support of it, Sioux County and Rolette. And I want to believe, from my knowledge, Native Americans do smoke some sort of substance sometimes, but that's morally in their culture. But I don't know if they use marijuana. I am unfamiliar with that. I think they have access to it, obviously, but do they smoke it? Great. Perfect. I thought my mouse just died. Okay, so no. 76%. Logan County keeps leading the way for the conservative movement here. While yes is mainly in support of these Native American counties, you got Sioux County right here, a county over. Sioux County, 66%. That's mainly in support of the ballot measure. Then again, not surprising, it's a Democrat stronghold, very liberal stronghold, although it's more racial, overwhelming Native American majority there. But anyway, base ballot measure, this actually gives us hope that we can actually pass this rejected this abortion measure in North Dakota. There probably will be a future abortion measure, possibly, because there is a ballot measure that took place in 2011, I want to believe, or early 2000. 60% of North Dakotans supported the ballot measure, which is ridiculous. Which I think that can change over seeing it's been 10 years. And we got proof, like a very libertarian issue, if you will, marijuana, which a lot of people say, we should smoke it. But then again, we got to remember, abortion, a lot of people view abortion as life-saving. It may not be life-saving. I don't think it's life-saving. But a lot of people are brainwashed to think it's life-saving. So we're going to have to see how North Dakota votes in a future abortion measure. I guarantee you there probably will be an abortion ballot measures coming up. Probably in the midterms or 2028. It's very possible. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to our said video today? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.